You know what shoppers are really hungry for these days? Information. They want to know more about the produce that you sell and how to use it, including all the types and varieties of U.S. potatoes. So who's going to educate them? Well, you are, so get ready. U.S. potato growers produce 7 major types and hundreds of varieties of potatoes. This means that your customers could have a different potato every night of the week. But most of them aren't. That's because many customers don't understand the differences between the types and varieties of potato and how to prepare them. Today, we're going to give you some helpful knowledge to share with your shoppers, with a little help from a friend. With me today is Glenn Gross, a produce merchandising director from Ridley's Family Markets. You could say Glenn is a fan of U.S. potatoes. How's it going, Glenn?
Good, how are you, Jared?
Good,
welcome to Ridley's.
Well, thank you. So as you know, most customers don't know the difference between the different types and varieties of potato. So what's the first thing someone in the produce department should know?
There are 7 types of potatoes that fall along the continuum, and they range from waxy to floury.
So let's talk about the 7 types of U.S. potatoes. Looks like we have a russet potato.
We do have a russet potato. They're good for mashed potatoes, they're good for French fries, they're good for twice-baked potatoes, and they are the premier baker potato.
Well, why is that?
They have more starch, and they have a dry, fluffy interior.
Okay. All right, so what's next?
Yellow potato.
On the continuum from waxy to floury, where does the yellow potato fall?
It falls right in the middle.
Okay, and how would you prepare it?
You can steam it, you can bake it, but most of all, I like to grill it.
And why do you like to grill it?
Because when you're done, it has this wonderful, rich, buttery flavor.
So what kind of potato is this?
This is a white potato. It's very popular in the Northeast.
So waxy or floury?
Falls right in the middle.
Okay, so kind of a general all-purpose potato.
This is a general all-purpose potato.
So what happens when you cook it?
When you cook it, it has a creamy texture that's great for mashed potatoes, but you can use it many different ways.
So purple potatoes are my favorite.
And they have a nice, vivid color.
So what's the best way to cook them?
You can steam them, you can put them in the oven, but the best way is to microwave them.
Why? What happens in the microwave?
They hold their color better.
I also really like the nice nutty flavor.
Which makes a great addition to a tossed green salad.
So what's the difference between red potatoes and purple potatoes? And don't say blue.
They're a waxy type.
Okay, so they're good for boiling and steaming and roasting.
And great for soups and salads.
Why is that?
Because they're slightly sweet and tender.
Well, the thin red skin also gives it a nice color.
Yes.
So are red potatoes the only waxy variety?
No, there's one more, fingerling potatoes. They're 2 to 4 inches long and they're oblong in shape.
I've seen them in a lot of different colors, so red, purple, white, yellow. How do you cook them?
You can boil them or roast them, but the best way is to pan fry them. It brings out the rich, nutty flavor.
So last but not least.
Petite potatoes. Some people call them bite size.
So is their small size the only thing that sets them apart?
That is the only thing that sets them apart. They have the same flavor and the same texture characteristics as their full-size cousins.
It looks like they could probably take less time to cook as well.
They do cook faster.
Now, I see they have multiple flavors and colors here. You got the red, yellow, the purple. How do you prepare these?
Most people roast them, but they make a great potato salad.
It's easy to see why Glenn loves U.S. potatoes. They're a versatile ingredient for almost any dish, topping, or sauce. They add texture and color, plus people love them, myself included. Bon appetit. Now let's review what we learned about the 7 types of U.S. potatoes today. The 7 types of U.S. potatoes fall along a continuum between waxy and floury. The waxy varieties are best for roasting and boiling. They keep their shape in water and maintain their tender bite. The floury type have more starch and less water. They're best for mashing, baking, and frying. All these different types can be prepared in a number of different ways. But here's what you need to remember for your customers. When you think of russets, think baked potatoes, fries, and mashed potatoes. Yellows can be cooked a lot of different ways, but they're especially good grilled. Whites are an all-purpose potato, and they also make great mashed potatoes. Purples can be boiled, steamed, or microwaved, and they're great in salads. Reds and fingerlings, they go in soups and salads. They can be roasted, boiled, grilled, or even pan-fried. And petites, those darling petites. Well, they have many of the same characteristics as their larger cousins, but they cook quicker due to their smaller size. Among other things, they make great potato salad. Glenn, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge of potatoes with us today.
You're welcome. I hope it helps.